we are thankful once again today. That was the word yesterday, and we'll use it again today to be moving forward against an outstanding Transy team. We knew coming into this game that they could score from anywhere and everywhere and score often. And you saw that today. They're hard to defend, and they stretched us in every way imaginable. I liked our resiliency. We had a couple run in the second half that gave us a little bit of a gap. Gave us the distance to finish out the game. Proud of our effort.
Questions for Coach of the student athletes?
Coach, one for you, I guess. What did you guys, I guess, key on stop Nicole Kaufman tonight in this game? She's one of the best scorers in the country. You guys were able to limit her to just 10 points.
Man, it seemed like she had 110. But, well, it was a team effort. The first thing we did was we tried to face guard and limit her touches early in the game, all throughout the game. And she still obviously can get the touches when she wants. She's hard to defend because she runs the floor so well in transition, so that's the first area that we had to defend. And after that, we really wanted to limit her ability to go left. We think she's a better scorer going left, so we try to sit on that side. And we did a decent job of not putting her on the free throw line too much. And that was definitely a focus of ours.
Coach, the full court press was really working for Transylvania in the second half. What did you do to break that?
There's a great pressing team, and when we are aggressive, we can kind of run through that and get into our offense. We got a little bit tentative, had the 10-second call, had a couple turnovers, and I think that's just late game jitters. We needed our guards to want the ball a little bit more and handle it a little bit more aggressively in that situation, so we'll continue to work on that. I think as a score gets tight and we miss a bucket, then you start overthinking all those things as a player. We need to stay confident.
How hard is it to game plan for teams when you only have 24 hours to sort of like get to know them?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a jump start, so we split it up with our staff of scouting everybody. So we had a little jump start, but then to get all of us on the same page against a team that's really difficult to defend. So we were up discussing that last night as well as this morning. Like how the players really implemented the game plan. So this team has been extremely focused down the stretch. They've taken game plans the day of a game and implemented them very well. We started that in the conference tournament, and really like how they focused and really kind of worked through that on game day.
Alison, you had 16 rebounds tonight as a career high for you. What were you able to do down low in this game?
All I try to do is to keep moving. It's really hard to box someone out who continues to move. So that was, I don't know, it's kind of a mentality. I just feel like I have to get every single board. Sometimes it kind of hurts us because I get tied up with my same player. But
yeah, nice job. Was that 3 times?
So both of us today? Yeah, so sometimes I can't see who's around me very well. But yeah, I try to get every board that I can.
What a mentality she has. You know, she's someone that we will miss tremendously because she's has that motor that just doesn't stop. And she gives us extra possessions every time down the floor. And at a big 5'10",
yeah.
she goes against the big girls and secures the rebound. It's very impressive.
Coach, how big of a luxury is it to have two players like Alex Gasaway and Alison Stevens, where one can get a breather on the bench and one can be productive on the court? And I mean, most teams don't have two players like that.
We'd like to keep them playing as long as we can in DePauw uniforms. They've had great careers. You know, they battled through the injuries that they've had, so they're a little bit broken. But they've found a way to be resilient. Two of the toughest players we have. So we like them pounding around in the paint.
Freeing the players, what were you guys able to do in the second half in particular when the game was drawing close? Did you think it'll be able to serve you well going forward in the tournament and throughout the rest of it?
Allie Ross knocking down her free throws. Sorry, it was a third player. Go ahead, Allie.
So what happened? Like, what did you do in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, there was times they drew close. I think they were into like maybe 5 points or 4, and you guys were able to sort of fight back and battle back. What just were you able to do that can serve you well?
I think, like what Coach said earlier, we should have, as guard, especially when they were pressing, the guards should have been a little more assertive when it came down to it. But I think especially on defense, we really had to like lock down because they were driving on us and getting to the free throw line. I think once we kind of settled down and stopped it at that point, we were able to kind of run down the clock and then start. They said they had to foul at that point, which was kind of in our favor.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to being poised and being confident, believing in like yourself and your teammates that your 5 can beat their 5. So like that mentality going down the stretch of the tournament is going to be really important, especially when games are going to be close and you're going to be up and down by a couple points or even 10 points or so, and making sure that you stay confident and we stay confident as a team, I think will be really important.
And just that one possession at a time mentality, I think, helps you stay poised. You just have to think, we have to get down there and get the best shot we can, best look we can, and then come back and get a stop. And then you start to get that margin so that where they do have to end up fouling at the end of the game.
Coaches for you, and I guess the players as well, but you guys blow out a lot of teams during the regular season, but you guys continue to play both halves. So how do you prepare your team when it gets into the situations where the games are much closer, day in and day out?
Did we blow anybody out this year?
I don't remember.
It's been, last year I think we had larger margins. This year it's been, game by game, half by half. And what happens in a tournament when the teams are a little bit better is your rotation shortens. And so we might not be 10 deep, we might be 8.5 deep, depending on the opponent and the matchup. So that's a little bit more taxing on them. So we've got to make sure we keep them fresh during the week. Mentally and physically, and they've got to take care of themselves because we're asking a lot of energy on the defensive end of the court. But what Alex mentioned was possession by possession, and that's how we try to live every day, whether we have a 20-point lead or a 2-point lead. And I think they really buy into that. They've done an excellent job, whether we have a lead or we're coming from behind or whatever it might be.
You just mentioned the close games. So, what sort of advantage would it give you guys to be at home in the next round?
I think there is a certain advantage to playing at home. You don't have you can stick to your routine because you're used to playing here. You don't have to worry about travel and missing classes, too. But I think also just the atmosphere of playing at home is completely different and can change the balance of the game depending on, what the gym is like and what your fans are doing and what energy is coming from the gym as well. So it could be an advantage.
Any more questions?
I got one more question. Sorry to keep you guys. You guys shot the ball well from 3 tonight, and that was continuous throughout the entire game. So what were you able to do on the offensive side to kind of spread the court a little bit?
Ellie Ross.
You're the food. Yeah, you guys. I'm not.
I think a couple of things, I know Alex and Alison are really good at, sometimes when teams do bring an extra defender down there because they're so talented, they're really good about finding the guards on the 3-point line, and I think that really helps, as well as Savannah Tree's penetration and kicks are awesome, as well as Hannah Douglas. So I think those 2 things really help us get threes off, and they're wide open, so that makes it a little easier to hit, obviously.